US-64. Alright. Alright, today we're going to be looking at the US-64 section in Arkansas. It is a sometimes scenic and sometimes boring road through the state. You see here, it goes from Fort Smith, Arkansas to just outside of West Memphis, Arkansas, and follows I-40 basically the entire way. Before I continue, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We just passed 66 subscribers, so I hope to get to at least 75, and I'm thinking about making a US 75 video if we hit that, so please subscribe, if anything. Alright, so first let's take a look at US 64 eastbound. So, the same picture as before, we are entering the state of Arkansas from Oklahoma. We see an Arkansas state line sign right here. But I checked and I did not see a Welcome to Arkansas sign. But we do have a pretty nice view of downtown Fort Smith right here. As we continue, at the stoplight it says 64 go left. No east or west mentioned here, but this would be East 64 right here, turning left here. And while we're still in Fort Smith, we have a sign right here, downtown left, fairgrounds right, and Van Buren right. So Van Buren is our next control city here. Here's a 64 East reassurance shield. As we enter Van Buren, we see a population sign right here, next to Scooter's Coffee. And as we exit Van Buren, we have junction I-40 left and Alma left, so Alma becomes our next control city. We are meeting Interstate 540. 540 South is signed for Fort Smith. 540 North is signed for Junction I-40, Oklahoma City, and Little Rock, so good signs right here. And as we leave the I-540 junction, we have an East 64 shield and a North 71 business shield, and we have Alma 6 miles. And as we enter Alma, we have a junction with US 71. We have the sign here that says Dyer Straight, Fayetteville right, downtown right, Fayetteville's left here, not right. And Dyer Strait, I wonder if that's going to be our primary control city. Turns out it's not even on the sign at all. We have Mulberry 11 and Ozark 23, so Ozark becomes our control city after Alma. So I think that's a good choice. Ozark's kind of big for the route. It's the next somewhat important town, so I agree with that. Once we get close to the Ozark, we have Ozark 14 and Clarksville 37. So Clarksville becomes the control city after Ozark. I agree with that. And I also love this Lightning McQueen sign right here, Ka-chow. And here we are in Ozark. We have this pretty big harps over here. I didn't know they had harps this big. As we have a good view of downtown Ozark, so pretty cool looking downtown for here. And then we see another Clarksville sign as we leave Ozark. And here we are meeting I-40 in Clarksville. We have Clarksville Straight, Fort Smith going west on 40, and 40 East is signed for Little Rock, so good sign here. Here we are in downtown Clarksville, nice view of it. And coming out of Clarksville, we have Lamar 3 and Russellville 24. So Russellville becomes the next control city. I agree with that. And as we get closer to Russellville, we have Russellville 8 and Morrilton 34. So Morrilton becomes the next city. And here's a view of the nuclear power plant in Russellville. I believe this is the Illinois Bayou. It might have a different name, but I'm pretty sure that's what this is. But we see a nice view of the nuclear power plant here, and also a few hills in the distance, so pretty cool. Here we are in Russellville. We have a 2 West 40 and 2 East 40 sign here, and we also have Arkansas Tech University going left, so if you want to get there, that's where you would go. Here's another sign for Morrilton on E64. We have Atkins 6, Morrilton 19. As we get closer to Morrilton, we have Morrilton 14 and Conway 34, so good sign here. Conway is the next sensible choice. And here we are approaching Morrilton. We have Morrilton 7 and Junction, Arkansas 9-8. So get a state highway sign here. A little weird, but I mean, at least they're not signing like a really small place or anything. So here we are in downtown Morrilton. And after Morrilton, we have Plummerville 4 and Conway 16, so Conway is on the sign. As we get closer to Conway, we have Conway 8 and Little Rock 42. Interesting choice since 64 doesn't actually go to Little Rock, but it does meet I-40 in Conway, and this is the fastest way to Little Rock from here, so I do agree with signing Little Rock here. Not a lot of states would probably do this, but I like that 64 does this. And here we are in Conway. Next to this come and go is the intersection to turn left to stay on 64. And as we approach another intersection to turn left, we have Little Rock and Harrison going left. So if you wanted to go to Little Rock, you would turn left here at the stoplight. And here we are. To go on E64, you would go right here. It says straight, but you would turn right here. If you went straight, you would go to the Conway Walmart, and then 2 I-40 going left. So if you want to go Little Rock, you would go left. If you want to continue on the E64, you would go right. So here's another E64 sign to turn left at the stoplight next to this Walgreens. And here we are meeting I-40 again. It is time for Fort Smith going left for West 40, and BB is our next control city for US-64 East. US-64 East is again signed for BB on the mileage sign. And next we get El Paso 7 and Junction US-67 18. Junction US-67 is the main reason for signing BB, so I guess it's worth putting on the sign here. And then after the El Paso Junction, we have Junction US-67/167 since they're concurrent, and BB 14, so good sign here. And here we are meeting US-67 and 167. We don't have any signs here. We don't have any control cities. We just have the state highway or the US highway shields here. And we will be joining US-67 and 167 as we stay on 64 East. So good thing we have these signs here. So it was signed for Bald Knob and St. Louis. Good sign here. Bald Knob is where 64 splits, and St. Louis is the control city for US-67. So I agree with both of those. And as we split from US-67 and 167, both highways actually split in Bald Knob. So 64 East is signed for Bald Knob, and 167 is signed for Batesville. So good sign right here. And in Bald Knob, to stay on 64 East, we have a sign for Augusta and Memphis. So interesting we get Memphis here. It's pretty far away from Memphis. And we actually get it on the mileage sign. We have Augusta 13 and Memphis 93. However, it does not hold up. We get Wynn signed instead of Memphis. However, like, I don't think I'm completely against this, because Wynn is kind of big for 64 in this part of Arkansas, and I think if the last time was signed for Wynn, I wouldn't complain. So it's cool to have a Memphis sign, but I'm okay with switching to Wynn here since it's not in the Memphis metro area at all. So I think this is good here. So next time we have Fair Oaks 4, Wynn 17, and Marion 56. Marion, I don't know if I like that as being the next primary control. However, Marion is where 64 meets Interstate 55, so so yeah, I think it's worth signing, but I wouldn't sign it as the primary. I would probably put it as a secondary, since, you know, it is important enough to sign, but not sign as the primary. So far, I mean, 64's had a somewhat, you know, reasonable run of control cities. With Marion being on the sign, I really hope that they manage to at least keep up the momentum a bit. But I guess we'll see. Here we are meeting US-63 and US-49. It's time for Jonesboro and Brinkley. I agree with these choices. Jonesboro is pretty big, and Brinkley is where you meet I-40, so good signs here. And we actually get another sign for Memphis after we enter Wynn, or after we leave Wynn. So we got Park in 14 and Memphis 47. So yeah, I think Memphis should be the control city after Wynn. I'm sure they're going to sign it all the way there. Ah, but no. The very next sign, we get Park in 10 and West Memphis 37. Oh, man. Did Patrick Starr make this sign? Because I swear, I think he did. But we do get another sign for Memphis 35. However, then the very next one we get Crawfordsville 9 and West Memphis 21. So the problem with West Memphis on 64 is, okay, does 64 go to West Memphis? Yes, it does. However, it is concurrent with Interstate 55 from Marion to West Memphis, and then in West Memphis is also concurrent with I-40 until the 55 split, and then it falls 55. So it really should not be signed for West Memphis. If the one highway that goes to West Memphis that isn't a state highway is US 70, because staying on Interstate 40 would be faster than Memphis. 70 is the only thing that should be signed for West Memphis, because you'd have to turn off to go there. So that's the only thing that should be signed for West Memphis, not 64. 64 should just be signed for Memphis. And another mile sign we meet, we have Junction, Arkansas 147.3 and Marion 7. So they kind of go back and forth between Memphis, Marion, and West Memphis here. Again, Marion and West Memphis should not be primary controls. Again, I understand them signing Marion because that's where you meet Interstate 55, but that should not be the primary. And we continue with Marion here. And then while we're in Marion, we have Junction Interstate 55. 55 North is signed for Blytheville. I really don't know why. Just signed St. Louis. And South is for Memphis. So at least Memphis is here and not West Memphis. So I like this here. And then I went ahead and jumped to the 55 and 40 split. 55 South is signed for Memphis and Jackson, Mississippi. So that's a good sign right here. And at random interchanges, we do have Memphis. And here we are going on the Memphis-Arkansas Bridge into Memphis. We don't have a good view of downtown Memphis going this way. We can kind of see it looking left, but this truck is blocking the way for most of it. So we'll see something like that going southbound, or going eastbound in terms of 64. But yeah, so going ahead, took a while to find a Welcome to Tennessee sign, but here it is right here. It's maybe 2 to 3 miles into Tennessee, so this will be the end of US 64 East. So now let's take a look at US 64 West. So here we are on the Memphis-Arkansas Bridge again. We do see a view of downtown Memphis. However, this train bridge is blocking a lot of it, so we don't have a great view going this way, but here we are. And we're going over the Mississippi River into Arkansas. We have a Welcome to Arkansas sign. And oh my goodness. This is probably the worst sign in the entire state. 55 North to I-40, West Memphis and Blytheville. Why are these signed? Okay, so West Memphis is signed because that is where 55 meets I-40. But if you're gonna sign something because of I-40, sign Little Rock. It's your state capital. You don't need to sign West Memphis. West Memphis is like, what, 2 miles from here? Like, don't sign West Memphis. Sign Little Rock. And Blytheville, I don't even need to describe, like, what's wrong with that. Like, Arkansas is being provincial because that's the only city of any importance in Arkansas that 55 goes through. Like, just sign St. Louis here. Like, I don't get it. Like, just awful sign right here. Again, I understand this isn't a big interchange, but still, like, Arkansas does not have to sign secondary controls here. Anyway, we do meet the I-40 and I-55 split. We don't have any signage for US-64, which US-64 is concurrent with 55 from the Tennessee-Arkansas state line to Marion. So here we have 40 West, Forest City, Little Rock, 55 North, Blytheville, St. Louis. At least Blytheville is on the second, is on the top line and not as the primary here. So if you're going to do that, then that's the way to go. And then here we are in Marion. We have 64 West, Marion, Sunset, and Wynn. So Wynn is the next control city picked after Marion, which I agree with. And it's even on the mileage sign right here. And 64 West, Wynn, and McCrory. I hope that's not going to be the next city signed. However, it actually isn't. We have Fair Oaks 13 and Bald Knob 45. So Bald Knob becomes next control city after Wynn, which I agree with because you meet US-67 and 167 there, and that's where they will be concurrent, similar to BB going north. And here we are meeting US-63 and US-49, same control cities as before. And here we are, we have another mileage sign. We have McCrory 6, Augusta 16, and Bald Knob 28. So Bald Knob is on the bottom line. I wonder why that McCrory sign was there before, since, you know, it's only 6 miles from right here. And then here we are meeting 367 for Searcy and Batesville going right. Searcy, wonder why it's Searcy and not Little Rock, but okay. But on the next side, we do get Searcy and Little Rock here, so I like that as we turn left. And here we are. This is after the 67 and 167 concurrency. We have a sign for BB and Conway. So they signed Conway here. That's a good job. We have Conway on the mileage sign right here. And as you look closer, we have Junction I-40 13 and Conway 14. Here we are in Conway at the Interstate 40 Junction. Same control cities as before. This time we have Conway going straight. Since downtown Conway you get to pretty quickly after going straight. And here we are just after, just barely into downtown Conway. We see historic downtown Conway sign right here. We have 2 West 64 go right, so you turn right to go on US 64 West as well as 65 Business. And here is the intersection next to the Conway Walmart to go on 64 West right here. And you turn right at this Popeyes, next to this Popeyes in the come and go to go right to stay on 64. And the first mileage sign out of Conway is Memphis 7 and Morrilton 17. So good sign right here. And after Morrilton, we have Atkins 6, Russellville 19. So Russellville becomes the next control city. I agree with that. Clarksville is the next sign after Russellville, so good job here. Clarksville 7, Ozark 29 once we get closer to Clarksville. So Ozark is the next city sign, so that's good. However, we don't get Ozark after we pass through Clarksville. We get Junction, Arkansas 109 1 and Hartman 6. Why Hartman? Hartman's like what, like 500 people? Like, why are you switching the control city here? Sign Ozark. If you want to sign Hartman, make it the second line. However, once we get closer to Hartman, we do get Ozark on the sign again. And once we get closer to Ozark, we have Alma on the sign, Alma 30 miles. And once we pass Alma, we have Van Buren 8, Fort Smith 13. So I agree with this. Van Buren is worthy of control city status, but I don't know about going westbound just because Fort Smith's a lot bigger than it, and Van Buren's kind of in the Fort Smith metro, so I think doing it right here is perfect. Van Buren, Fort Smith, it being co-signed. Here we are meeting Interstate 540 again, 540 signed for Fort Smith, and North 540 has Junction I-40 and Oklahoma City and Little Rock again, so I like the sign like before. On 540, 64 West is signed for Van Buren. I think this is fine because Fort Smith traffic would take 540 and not 64, so I think just signing Van Buren here is actually fine. And then in Van Buren, we have a Fort Smith sign, since from this junction, it is faster to get to Fort Smith. And here we are back in downtown Fort Smith. 64 is going to be going right at this intersection. And here we are leaving Arkansas. This is the Arkansas River and entering Oklahoma. So Oklahoma is coming up. And we get a welcome to Oklahoma sign as well as an exit in Oklahoma. So don't really have a mileage sign or anything for any Oklahoma cities, but I will talk about it in the final verdict. So my final verdict for US-64's control cities are eastbound, let's say Fort Smith. Even though you are basically in Fort Smith when you enter Arkansas, like maybe just downtown Fort Smith, that would be good there. Then I'd say Van Buren because of the 540 junction, so Van Buren after that. Then Alma because of the US-71 and I-49 junction. Ozark after that because it's kind of a big-ish city on the route. Clarksville after that, then Russellville, Morrilton, Conway, and I like the Little Rock signs, so Little Rock definitely works. Then after that, I'd say BB, then St. Louis once you're on the 67 and 167 concurrency, then Bald Knob because that's where you leave it, and then Wynn, maybe like Wynn Memphis would be okay here, but just Wynn I think is okay too. Then I'd say Marion, Memphis because that's where you meet Interstate 55, but Memphis should also be on the mileage signs too. No West Memphis. West Memphis isn't really important to sign. And then I'd say just Memphis after that. And then going westbound, I'd say Little Rock and St. Louis. No Blytheville, no West Memphis. Then St. Louis once you leave I-40, and then Marion because that's where you leave I-55. Wynn after that, then Bald Knob, Little Rock once you're on 67 and 167, and then BB because that's where you leave it, then Conway because that's the next big place, then Morrilton, Russellville, Clarksville, Ozark, Alma because of the junctions listed before, then Van Buren / Fort Smith, and then Fort Smith, and then instead of no control city for Oklahoma, I would say Roland or maybe Sallisaw, but I say Roland because that's where you meet Interstate 40 again, and there's, you know, a decent amount of stuff there. There's a casino and like some restaurants, so I think that's probably what I would sign for 64 West. And before I close the video, I will reveal my future videos. My next video will be US-371. Next, I will do a US-278 collection of videos. Parts 1 through 4, since US-278 spans multiple states, and I probably can't cover them all in one video, so it will be split up into multiple parts. And then I will combine all the US-278 videos into one, so make a complete series out of it. So anyway, thank you for watching. We just passed 66 subscribers. If we can get to 75, I will make a US-75 video after the 278 video. So please subscribe, and hope you enjoyed the video.